TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello, hello.
Well, this week we're going to talk about the big uprising that's happening here in Iran. Hopefully some good news in the future. Not holding my breath for it, though. And also the uprising of Arabs at the Temple Mount during our New Year's holiday. But first, let's say thank you. Thank you for all your donations and all your support to be able to help and feed the people here in the State of Israel. Because of your help and everything that you guys have been able to do, it's a slow process, but we are growing. Hopefully we could grow faster with your help. And but this week we added another family. And as you know, once we add a family, we stick with them until either they don't need it no more, but I don't see any miracles happening in that field anytime soon, or we're just not able to anymore, or whatever. So whenever we decide to pick up a new family, we stick with them, and they get food every week, enough to feed their family. And it's all because of you guys and your support and your involvement in what's going on here in the State of Israel. And as usual, all of our videos have links underneath of them. If you haven't yet, and you decided now you do want to be part of this ministry, there are links to the Golden Report support page and the Patreon page, or you can just go to thegoldenreport.com that Ola just recently updated, and go to the Support Us page there. So thank you very much. And so I guess we'll just get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, President Putin has stated that he will enlist the Russian Reserve Army to fight in the Ukrainian war. There is no Russian reserve army, and this is causing a great number of Russians to escape from Russia. Israel is making plans to go and get all the Russian Jews that are interested in coming home and making Aliyah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let's note that there really is no such thing as a reserve army like in Israel, in Russia. So that is a huge undertaking. That is just calling random people up, telling them now you're in the army.
Yeah.
I've decided you're in the army. Picking them up against their will, most likely, training them, giving them new positions, training them with the equipment, stuff they've never done before. And it would, even if he did it, I think it would be so long before he could actually get them mobilized and moving.
Yeah.
It's such a logistical nightmare to do something like that.
It's not like we have our reserves always training, always
training.
Yeah,
it's it really is insane, but it's amazing that Israel's making plans to go in and basically rescue,
save,
the Russian Jews, anyone who gives any inclination that they're willing to come into Israel and do Aliyah.
Yeah. We started this week off with a terrorist stabbing near to the city of Modi'in. The Arab was stopped before he could kill any Jews. Thank God.
Yeah.
Although one man and a police officer were stabbed but not seriously injured. So that's how our week started.
Yeah.
Stabbing.
It's been a crazy week with stuff like that. As you can hear, it's been already a fighter jet and now some military. It sounds like Black Hawks. It's getting pretty serious around here. But we're still here and we're still doing everything we need to do. But these terrorist attacks is getting worse and worse. This is definitely another intifada. It looks like coming up. But we'll see. The IDF is doing a lot of work to get it under control.
Yeah.
On Saturday, an Arab in the Samaria area in Israel saw a police officer on the side of the road writing a ticket. So he tried to kill him by running him down with his car. The terrorist was stopped. Just another attempt, yet again, you know.
Yeah, this is the first time they're attacking policemen who give tickets, on the road.
Yeah, just to
every time we have something new happen.
Just
Yeah. Israel has decided to put the Arabs on full lockdown, seeing how they are clearly in the middle of a rising wave of terrorist attacks, and with the intelligence of their plans to make terrorist attacks during the Jewish New Year. We got, I think, I think almost 50 or something intelligence noticed.
Notifications. And we realized that there was over 50
many
plans.
Plans to but like real plans, not
just not
Talking
talking
around,
about it.
yeah,
People
yeah,
who have
yeah.
gotten everything together. They've gotten the weapons and the bombs and everything
Yes,
together
yes.
to go out and make attacks on certain days and certain places. Everything was put together, and
Yeah.
and they were able to stop them. And out of the concern that maybe we were missing a few, they decided to put them on
Pull them,
lockdown,
yeah.
which was a great thing. It was, had to be done.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Also on Saturday, the Israeli Shabak intercepted an attempt to smuggle a large delivery of illegal guns to arm the planned attacks during the Jewish New Year. This was from out of Jordan, actually. They were smuggling them.
Our best friend.
Yeah, our friends, right? We're peace treaty.
Yeah.
So it's just yet again another intelligence miracle. Definitely God's on our side.
Yes.
After a 23-year-old woman was killed by the modest police in Iran for having a few strands of hair showing through her burqa,
Good job, yeah.
the Iranian people seem to be waking up and starting to riot in the streets. Iranian police have killed hundreds of protesters that we know of. Now, this is what's sad about this, not only the fact that this actually happened, but what's even worse is it's an everyday occurrence.
It's not something
It's like
new.
it's not like this. What happened to this woman is so special. It's just the straw that finally broke the camel's back. It's something that happens all the time. The modesty police, actual armed the men walking around the streets, and if a woman has a piece of hair coming out of a burqa, they'll beat her to death in front of everyone in public, and that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be, right? Well, it's finally the people are getting fed up with it. I don't know who's gonna give up first, the protesters and the people of Iran, or the governing power of Iran, because it all depends on how much the protesters gather together and become strong in big numbers. Okay, it could be a coup, and it could be good news, bad news, who knows what, but it's definitely something big that's happening over there right now. Definitely worth keeping your eyes on. On Sunday morning, the IDF was able to stop another Arab terrorist cell that was on its way to make a terrorist attack. It turned into a firefight, but no IDFs were hurt. This was in Samaria area, and it was just once again intelligence, like you said, one of the 50 pieces of intelligence of terrorist attacks being planned on our land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the hours before the holiday, the police had roadblocks and checkpoints all over the country, trying to stop any other Arab terrorist cells in their attempts to kill Jews during celebration of the Jewish New Year.
Yeah.
We felt it. We felt
well,
it.
I
When
felt
you
it,
when
yeah.
you drive on the road,
Yeah.
you see them all.
I was driving back right before, making it back before the holidays, because I had to take care of the boat, keep it ready to go. And I was driving on my way home, and in the middle of a highway, where it's 75 miles an hour, all of a sudden there's soldiers and police officers blocking the road, and just looking and checking at everyone as you go by.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if you was in America and this happened to you, you would probably go a little crazy and upset about, maybe martial law and stuff like that. But when you live here, you're happy to see it. Believe me. You're like, absolutely. I asked the police officers and everything if they had enough water and everything, because I had some water in the truck. You guys said, stay out here as long as it takes. Keep us safe.
Yeah. We definitely felt it.
Yeah. On Monday, during the Jewish New Year holiday, an Arab aged 20 near Akko was on his way to plant a bomb on the train tracks to make a terrorist attack and attempt to kill many Jews. The IDF and the Shabak were able to catch him and stop him. This was during the New Year, when, it's sort of like a Shabbat, so the trains aren't running, no cars on the street, it's very empty, and it was he had a plan to put this bomb on the train tracks, wait for the trains to start running again full of Jews, and blow the train tracks and derail the train in a spot where he knew the train is traveling about 80 to 90 kilometers an hour. So over 100 miles an hour. Over 60 miles an hour. It would have been a disaster.
Yeah.
If he would have been successful at that, it would have been a big.
Also something new. Also, they're always trying different new things,
tactics.
new tactics.
Yep, absolutely. Also, since Monday, Arabs are making violent outbursts on the Temple Mount and East Jerusalem. They were throwing hand grenades and trying to their best to kill Jews and disrupt our New Year traditions. During every New Year, it's very common. That's part of the religious holiday traditions that Jews go to the Temple Mount and pray. To pray, to bless the new year coming in. Plus, it starts the 10 days of atonement before the Day of Atonement, which is Yom Kippur. It's a big deal, right? And so the Arabs were just doing what they could to disrupt and hurt and kill and stop and just destruction.
Yeah,
That's all. No,
but
that's
hand
all.
grenades, this is also new.
Yeah.
They used to throw rocks most of the time.
They used to throw
and
rocks.
Fire,
It's been a while though that they've been having hand grenades and stuff. I can personally tell you, I've had IDF issued hand grenades thrown at me by Arabs, meaning somehow they get their hands on that stuff.
But think about it. Instead of going to pray in their holy mosque,
Yeah, they turn it into a
they
war zone.
turn it into a war zone. They keeping up all the weapons there and start throwing on other people that peacefully trying to pray, or
Yep.
Jews.
Yep.
On Wednesday morning in Jenin, the IDF, with intelligence from the Shabak to stop 5 terrorists with plans to make an attack on Israeli soil. These Arabs have made attacks in the past. The moment the terrorists realized the IDF were there, it turned into the biggest firefight Jenin has ever seen in a long time.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It turned into a real, Arabs, random, not just the terrorists that opened fire against the IDF soldiers, but random Arabs were filling the streets and just coming out of everywhere and starting with their guns, and just goes to show you how many guns they actually have. And just started firing and started trying to kill the IDF soldiers.
Well, we're arresting every night. We're going to Jenin and other areas, that known terrorist areas, and we're arresting, the IDF arrest every night some people who known to be terrorist, connected to terrorist cells,
Right.
organizations. But this time it was a real deal. They really,
was a real big
they had big
firefight.
support from just random Arabs there.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the IDF was able to go in, do the job, and get out, and they were okay.
Yeah.
Thank God. But this really is. It really was a big firefight. It really was. But like Ola said, we've been going in every night and arresting Arabs with plans. One of the things we've talked about before on this channel, which is very unique to the IDF, is the IDF never goes in and arrests Arabs that have been terrorists when they do this kind of stuff. I'm not saying when they're searching for someone who just made an attack and they want to arrest them. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these planned arrests ahead of time when they pick out people that they're going to arrest. They never do it for what they did. They always do it for what they're going to do. Which is unique for most places. Most countries don't do that. If there was a terrorist who made a terrorist attack 3 years ago and we just found out about it, the IDF is not going to go in and make a big mission out of getting him. But if there's a guy who's planning to make an attack next week, yes, they'll go in and they'll get him.
Yeah, we're trying to save our lives, basically.
The Israeli Defense Forces, not the Israeli Offense Forces, not the IOF, it's the IDF.
Yeah.
Exactly. It really is. The IDF really is a defense army. It's not an offense army.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything you want to say?
I want to wish you guys Shana Tova, Happy New Year, Happy Jewish New Year. And yesterday you had a birthday, so happy birthday.
What'd you buy me?
I'm not good enough.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm yours.
Absolutely.
Well, I hope you have a good week, and we'll see you in the next video. And
absolutely. We have a few videos coming up. Akko is one of the ones we really want to do. We've talked about it before on the channel already, but because of the Arab, Akko is a mixed city with Arabs and Jews. And this, by the way, this bombing, the attempt on the train track is right by Akko. Yeah. So we figured we might ought to put that on hold for a little bit, but there's plenty of other things coming. And plus, I think we're going to make a nice little vlogging video of when we go to the to the Temple Mount and go to the Western Wall and put your prayer requests in the wall. That's a beautiful thing we're able to do for you guys. So that's the upcoming news, and don't forget to join us on thegoldenreport.com. And until next week,
Shabbat Shalom.
God bless.